There's a particular YouTuber I've been watching lately who goes by the name of The Atheist Antidote. This self-styled Christian apologist superhero has made a name for himself on the web by breathlessly and with great affect regurgitating the talking points of such vacuous blowhards as William Lane Craig. Chief amongst these is the impossibility of the existence of morality apart from some sort of God. This argument hinges upon the loose interpretation of the term objective morality, and while I'd love to dismantle this argument on purely logical grounds, others, like Not One Delusion, have already done that job for me. So allow me to come at this little nut from a slightly different angle. Steve Harvey is another one of these atheist bashers who uses the supposed impossibility of the existence of morality apart from a deity to justify his bigotry. "Where is your moral barometer?" he's been quoted as saying on more than one occasion. Pity, it turns out in hindsight, that his moral barometer doesn't include marital fidelity. But the problem with all of these arguments about the lack of morality apart from deities, aside from how pedantic they are, is that they're completely unnecessary. If you want to prove that atheists are immoral, there's a much simpler and more effective way. Just send out a survey to several thousand random people throughout the United States. Make sure that the survey asks the participant about their religious beliefs and also about their behavior on a range of issues, such as whether or not they've had an abortion, been addicted to drugs, been divorced, committed violent crimes, become pregnant while still a teenager, or to have caused such a pregnancy. Another good method to prove how immoral atheists are is to poll prison inmates regarding their religious beliefs. If the canards about atheists being rudderless ships are true, then atheists should be overrepresented in prisons. That's it. Just do those things. And if it turns out that the proportion of atheists addicted to drugs or getting divorced, having abortions, or sitting in prison is greater than the proportion of atheists in the population at large, then you'll have proven your point far more convincingly than you could have with a bit of sophistry bolstered with a few questionably defined terms. Of course, if such a study existed that showed a direct, statistically significant correlation between atheism and forms of social dysfunction, then why is that study not waved around by the atheist antidotes and Steve Harveys everywhere? The answer, I believe, goes deeper than mere religiosity. The atheist antidote, Steve Harvey, and others like them, are bigots. No different than those who judge others based on the color of their skin. I've had opportunities to speak with some rather virulent racists over the years, and being an open-minded lad, I've inquired as to the source of their prejudices, if for nothing else than to at least understand how such warped minds work. I've never heard a racist say that they dislike someone based on the color of their skin. What they always seem to say is that members of this ethnic minority or that one are responsible for various evils in society. It's almost never the case that this racist was ever personally wronged by any one of their hated demographic, so these claims on the inferiority or untrustworthiness of black people or Jews or Hispanics or whatever else are usually quite vague and vacuous. I think this is telling in a somewhat subtle way. Even racists know on some level that their racism, in its purest form, judging solely on the basis of race, is wrong. They know that it's stupid to not like someone just because they have more melanin in their skin or whatever other trivial characteristic they don't like. But not wanting to admit that their prejudice is wrong puts them in the awkward position of having to justify their bigotry on some other grounds. So why not say that this group or that you don't like are all just a drain on society, criminals, reprobates, moral inferiors? That way you get to remain a bigot, but at least you've based that prejudice on something a bit less trivial than someone's complexion. But herein lies the rub. If atheists are indeed immoral, if we have no basis for determining right from wrong, then it should be quite simple to show it. Conduct a survey with a large sample size, careful statistical methods, and document everything so that you can show that your conclusions are accurate. use this data to show that, per capita, atheists have more abortions, divorces, addictions, teenage pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases, and commit more crimes than religious folks. Until someone does that, all the rhetorical flapdoodle about objective morality and moral barometers are just the smokes and mirrors that bigots use to rationalize their hatred of millions of people for no good reason at all. Thanks for watching, and as always,